Welcome to the BRICS News. The 2024 BRICS Summit in Kazan is a game changer in global geopolitics, marking the rise of a powerful new world order led by BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. In this in-depth video, we explore how BRICS is challenging Western dominance, with a focus on the collaboration between Russia, India, and China, or RIC. Together, these three powerhouse nations are working on unprecedented projects like establishing a nuclear power plant on the moon and resolving long-standing border disputes, signaling a new era of cooperation that could reshape global influence. Join us as we dive into the highlights of the 16th BRICS Summit, the expanding influence of BRICS across the global south, and the critical role of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in strengthening regional peace and security. The rise of BRICS. A global rebalance. BRICS, once viewed as an economic partnership, has evolved into a formidable geopolitical bloc. With the expansion to 10 member nations, including new entrants from the global south, BRICS is setting the stage for a multipolar world where the hegemony of Western powers, particularly the United States and the European Union, faces its greatest challenge yet. This 2024 summit is more than just a meeting. It represents a declaration of independence from Western dominance and a clear message that the world is no longer dictated by the selfish interests of NATO, the European Union, or the United States. For decades, the West plundered and looted countries in the global south through imperialism, colonialism, and economic coercion. They crippled economies, exploited resources, and left nations in poverty. The IMF and World Bank, both tools of Western financial imperialism, created a cycle of debt dependency that ensured the continuous control of the West over developing nations. BRICS, in stark contrast, is committed to ending this injustice by promoting fair trade, mutual respect, and non-interference in domestic affairs. The 2024 Kazan Summit has showcased BRICS as the new leader of the global south, offering an alternative to the outdated and exploitative Western-dominated world order. The expansion of BRICS has brought nations like Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Iran into the fold, creating an unprecedented coalition that spans continents, cultures, and economic interests. The collective GDP of BRICS nations, now rivaling that of the G7, further highlights the bloc's growing economic clout, as these countries move to reduce dependency on the US dollar by exploring alternative financial systems. RICS, the unstoppable trio. Central to the future of BRICS is the collaboration between Russia, India, and China, the RIC coalition. These three nations, united under the BRICS and SCO umbrellas, are poised to lead the charge in creating a multipolar world. Once adversaries, especially India and China, are now resolving their differences and moving towards unprecedented cooperation. The long-standing border dispute between India and China, a point of contention for decades, is now 90% resolved. The diplomatic thaw, achieved through consistent efforts by both sides, symbolizes the maturity of BRICS as a platform for peaceful resolution of conflicts. The rapprochement between the two largest economies in Asia sends a clear signal to the world that BRICS, unlike the West, can resolve issues without resorting to military interventions or economic blackmail. This newfound camaraderie between India and China not only strengthens BRICS but also paves the way for enhanced economic and strategic cooperation. Moreover, the strategic partnership within the RIC coalition goes beyond regional concerns. In a bold move that epitomizes their shared ambition, Russia, India, and China are reportedly collaborating to establish a nuclear power plant on the moon. This initiative, part of a broader space exploration program, signals the technological and scientific aspirations of BRICS nations, a sharp contrast to the West's diminishing investment in space exploration. The establishment of a nuclear power plant on the moon, while still in its early planning stages, underscores the shift in global power dynamics. No longer content with merely challenging Western dominance on Earth, BRICS nations are now looking beyond, aiming to establish their influence in space. Such a move would not only secure energy resources for future space missions, but also cement BRICS' place as a leader in cutting-edge technology and innovation. The RIC collaboration in space represents a sharp contrast to the US's waning NASA program, which has seen budget cuts and reduced influence in recent years. BRICS and SCO, a synergistic alliance. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, another key platform for Russia, India, and China, complements the objectives of BRICS. Originally founded to address security concerns, the SCO has expanded its mandate to include economic cooperation and political collaboration. The SCO Summit, held in parallel to the BRICS meetings, witnessed the unprecedented participation of India and Pakistan in discussions that could lead to lasting peace between these two nuclear-armed neighbors. While the West has thrived on exploiting divisions in South Asia to maintain control over the region, BRICS SCO seeks to resolve these conflicts through dialogue and cooperation. The growing cooperation between India and Pakistan, encouraged by Russia and China, could transform South Asia into a peaceful and prosperous region, ending decades of Western exploitation. The West, particularly the United States and its allies, has long used South Asia's divisions to sell arms, fuel conflicts, and maintain its military presence in the region. A peaceful South Asia, achieved through BRICS SCO mediation, would not only weaken the West's strategic grip on the region, but also allow countries like India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan to focus on economic growth and regional integration. As BRICS and SCO continue to grow, the West's attempts to undermine their progress through propaganda and disinformation are becoming increasingly desperate. However, the truth is clear. BRICS represents a new world order based on mutual respect, cooperation, and shared prosperity, values that starkly contrast with the West's history of exploitation, coercion, and military intervention. The West's decline, a powerless empire. The United States and its European allies are facing an existential crisis as their influence on the world stage crumbles. While BRICS nations are busy forging new alliances, creating alternative financial systems, and pushing the boundaries of technological innovation, the West is mired in internal decay. The United States, once the undisputed leader of the free world, is now a nation plagued by rising inflation, a crippling debt crisis, homelessness, and social unrest. As the West grapples with these internal challenges, its ability to project power globally is diminishing. The debt crisis in the United States, driven by years of reckless spending on wars and corporate bailouts, is threatening to destabilize the global economy. Europe, meanwhile, is struggling to maintain its unity in the face of rising nationalism and economic stagnation. The European Union, long touted as a model of integration and cooperation, is now fracturing under the weight of its own contradictions, with member states increasingly pursuing their own interests at the expense of collective unity. NATO, the West's primary military alliance, is also losing relevance. Once seen as the guardian of Western security, NATO has been exposed as an aggressive tool of imperialism, used to justify illegal wars and interventions in countries like Iraq, Libya, and Afghanistan. The alliance's repeated violations of international law have eroded its legitimacy on the world stage. In contrast, BRICS and SCO offer a model of cooperation that respects the sovereignty of nations and promotes peaceful resolution of conflicts. Furthermore, the West's dominance of global financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank is being challenged by BRICS-led initiatives. The new development bank and the contingent reserve arrangement, both established by BRICS, are designed to provide financial support to developing nations without the strings attached by Western institutions. These initiatives represent a direct challenge to the IMF and World Bank, which have long used debt as a tool to control the economies of the global South. The future of BRICS, a multipolar world. As BRICS continues to grow, its vision of a multipolar world is becoming a reality. The expansion of BRICS to include countries from across the global south signals the end of the West's monopoly on global governance. With BRICS nations leading the charge, the world is moving towards a system where power is distributed more evenly, and countries are free to pursue their own paths to development without interference from external powers. The 2024 Kazan Summit serves as a wake-up call for the West. The days of unilateral dominance are over, and the world is entering an era where cooperation, mutual respect, and multipolarity are the guiding principles. The West must either adapt to this new reality or risk being left behind. BRICS, along with the RIC coalition and the SCO, represents the future. The establishment of a nuclear power plant on the moon, the resolution of the India-China border dispute, and the growing cooperation between India and Pakistan all signal a new era of peace, prosperity, and technological advancement. As the West continues to decline, BRICS is rising, leading the world into a future where the interests of all nations are respected and the exploitation of the past is left behind. In conclusion, the 2024 BRICS Summit in Kazan marks a turning point in global history. BRICS is not just an alliance of nations. It is a movement that seeks to create a fairer, more just world. The West, with its history of plunder and exploitation, is powerless to stop this rise. The message is clear: the world is changing, and BRICS is leading the way. The West can no longer dictate the terms of global governance, and if it refuses to accept this new reality, it will find itself isolated, weakened, and irrelevant in the face of a BRICS-dominated future.